What's up guys, welcome back to my Flutter tutorials and welcome to my third episode of Flutter Weekly Widgets. And in this episode we are going to talk about another cool widget, which is a draggable widget. So you must have seen this widget maybe when you were using Facebook Messenger, because there you can find a chat head which you can drag to the bottom and it can vanish. So similarly we will see how we can implement that kind of effect here with our Flutter application, and it is very easy in Flutter. So we will see how we can do that. So as you can see, we have this main.dart where we are calling episode 3 from the home, and we have a file draggable widget.dart. Here we have nothing. So what we can do, we can import material.dart first of all. Okay, and let me just so now we want a stateless widget maybe, which we can name episode 3. Okay, and now we don't have anything else apart from that. So let's talk about a little bit about draggable widget and what it do. So draggable widget is something which can be used to drag from to a target. Okay, and that target is a drag target. So suppose for example, if you have a widget and you have a certain target, let's say there is a container in the bottom where you want to push this widget or data from this widget to that target widget. So you can use draggable in that case, and you can also give it a like a feedback, like it is you are like dragging it from a particular position to a destination position. So we will see how we can work with it, and let's see. So we have this episode 3, which is a stateless widget, and I just gave it a name episode 3. You can give it anything. I mean, I know this is not a good name, but I couldn't think anything apart from this. Okay, so we have a container here, and rather than this container, what I am going to use a scaffold. Okay, because we are just coming from this main.dart. We have a material app, and when we will have this scaffold, then maybe we will have good things to work with, like body, floating action button and everything, but we just need a body as of now. So here we are going to use a stack. Okay, so that we can have multiple elements which are built on top of each other. Okay, so we have something called children here where it can accept some widgets. Okay, and now I am going to add a draggable widget here. Okay, so now we don't have anything called draggable widget till now. Okay, we have a draggable, which is a widget which we can use to make this draggable widget. Okay, I know this sounds a little bit like too much, but let's just wait for it. So this is a draggable widget which would be a class. Okay, so draggable is itself a stateful widget, and now we are making a draggable widget which will be again a stateful widget, but we will be needing some position to to get some offset of that particular widget. So what we are going to do, we are going to make a stateful widget here which can be a draggable widget. Okay, and now we could have something like here, let's say we can have a offset. Okay, and now I can make a constructor for this. Okay, so we will provide an offset to it, which means the x and y values to it, and from which you can you can decide its like offset, which means x axis points and y axis points. Okay, so now we have this container, and rather than using this container, what I would like to use, so suppose this is our offset, and by default we want to provide something to this offset, let's say. So what we can do, we can call here init state, and by default we can use this offset widget.offset, and by default let's give it a value of 0.0. okay, and okay, so it is final. It should not be final here, and it should not be like this. Okay, so we are done with this. Now rather than a container, we can use a position widget, which again takes a child, bottom, height, key, left, right, top, width, and something like this. Okay, so what we can do, we can make it in the bottom maybe. Okay, and bottom would be like we want the offset. Once again, widget dot offset dot dy. Okay, and then with left we can use widget dot offset dot dx. Okay, so basically what we are doing, we are just defining where it will be positioned. So it will be positioned in the bottom and in the left, and this will be the offsets. Okay, like x and y axis value. And apart from that, what it takes a child, it can take a height, it can take a right and width and all. We don't want that, we just want to give it a child. And here we can use a draggable. Okay, so draggable has some properties which we are going to see. So it will take a child, which child you want to move. So child will again will be a widget. Then there will be a feedback which can be similar to a child. Like when you are moving that particular widget, then you want to see that particular widget is moving or not. Okay, so the feedback is kind of very similar to child. It is like a copy of child, you can say, but you can manipulate it a little bit to see the difference. Okay, then we have something called affinity, where you can it will just take care of like how you compete with other gestures. Okay, so you can provide that here. Then you have axis, whether you want to say like you just only want to do this drag thing horizontally or vertically, so you can mention there. Then you have this child when dragging, like you have multiple child, then you can use this. And there is something called data, where you can push any kind of data from using this property. Then you have a drag anchor, if you want to set a anchor. And then fraction feedback offset, max simultaneous drags, like if you want to have more than one drag, then also you can specify here. Then we have on drag completed. Once the dragging will be completed, then this method will be called. And on draggable cancel, suppose it does not reach to the drag target, then this method will call. And on drag started, once you will start dragging that particular widget. Okay, so there are a lot of things, so we are not going to discuss everything because we don't need that. But first of all, we need a child at least. Okay, so we can say we can say in the child we have a container. Okay, let's give it a width and height, maybe 200, and height can also be 200. And then we have a child again. We have a color, so let's give it a color as well. So what color you want to give? Maybe blue. Okay, so we have a blue color container here. Now it can again take a child. Okay, that's something. Okay, if you want to give it, you can give it. And we can give it a text in the child, and I can write something like hi. Okay, so this is something which I am putting here, hyper1. You can change it if you want. Okay, it's totally your choice how you want to use this. Apart from that, we have a feedback, where what we will do, we'll just copy this particular container, because feedback will be similar, but the difference can be here. Like we can give it a particular opacity with the color. Okay, and let's say opacity is 0.3. okay, so that we can see the difference, what is the difference. And we can have something called from this container we can use the data part, where we can push some data. Okay, and let's say right now I will be pushing what you want to push. So I can push a string. Okay, encrypted data, let's say. Okay, I'm just giving it a random data. You can use string, anything. It's not like you have to use a string or something like that. You can pass an object here, anything you want. Okay, so now we can use this on drag cancel. Suppose it get cancelled, then what you want to do, so it will take few parameters. One will be the velocity and second will be the offset, and you can simply call set state, and you can change its let's say what you want to do. Okay, so widget, you can do widget dot offset is equal to okay, so this is how it will work. Okay, and now this is done. So this is our draggable widget with some position where you want to align it. Now let's say I want to provide this offset here, so I can give something like 100 and 100, and let's run this and see what actually happens and how we are actually using it. So it is saying to make it what, okay, that's fine. So let's just wait for it and let's see what actually happens. And okay, it will take more time. Okay, as you can see, we have this application right here, but we are still, so now you can see we have this offset set here, and it should be from 100 to 100, like X should be from 100 to 100. I don't know why this does not work. Let's try to oh, it is working. So probably 100 was not a good choice, I don't know. Yeah, it is fine. Yeah, it is definitely fine. Okay, so basically what it is doing, it is offsetting it. Okay, if it to 0.0, what we wanted to do, we wanted to do this particular thing. If let's say if widget dot offset is equal to null, maybe. Okay, then we will do this part. Okay, yeah. So now if I will just try to drag it, then you can see we have something like this, and this is working. Okay, hyper one is working, but we get this particular different kind of stuff. We can move its position. Wow, so this is nice, but this is not actually working very fine. I don't know why. Okay, so now let's just rebuild it and let's see if something happens. Yeah, and now you can see this feedback, you can see. Okay, so this feedback is everything you would like to use. Okay, fine. So this is what we have as of now, and you can see this is our container. This is how it is working. Okay, and now let's say we want to drop it somewhere, and we want to give it a target. So how we can give it? Okay, so this is our task. So what we can do, we have something here. So we have an draggable widget here. So below this, so we can make another widget. Let's say this can also be in the position, right? And not this, and we can use something called top. Let's say 100 again, and then left 100 again, and then in the child we can use a drag target. Okay, because and now this drag target will accept that particular data which we are trying to send from draggable to this target. Okay, so let's see what property it takes. So first of all, it takes a builder where it will have this context, then it will have a list of accepted values. Okay, and then it will have something called this is accepted data, which is and this is the rejected data which we will be getting. It is a list of dynamic. So this is how it works. And now we can have another container maybe here with some height, let's say 100, and some width, let's say again 100, We can give it a color as well, so give it a color, let's say gray, and you can see that on the top. Okay, so this is how it will work. Apart from this builder, I guess it takes one more parameter. You have on accept, on leave, and on will accept. Okay, so we want to just focus on the on accept part. Here we can see what we are passing. So we are passing a string from there, if you remember, and we can say this will be our data. Okay, and here we can manage this data somehow. Okay, so this is what we have, and now once we will have this data, we can actually use this data, and yeah, so this is how we can work with this. And now we will see now what we can do. Actually, we can see how we want to drag and capture this data. So what we can do, we can have something called here a string, and we can say accepted accepted data. Okay, by default let's leave it like this. It can be a blank. Okay, and yeah, this is fine, I guess. Okay, so now we have this thing. Okay, and oh, this is looking fine to me. Okay, this is fine, this is fine. So here we can do on accept, we can change this accepted data to this particular data. Yeah, and this will be fine, right? And now if I will just okay, so we don't have anything to show this data also. Okay, so in this child of this container, what we can do, we can actually have something like maybe what we can do. So we can have something like center, then in the child we can have a text where we can push this data. Okay, accepted data to string. Okay, so we have this situation. Now let's try to drag this to that particular point, and let's see if something happens. And you can see the data, we have encrypted data at that point, and it is working. But the thing is, we have a problem, like we have been doing this, but the sizes are kind of different, so let's also make a difference. Let's make it a 200. It looks much better, and now we can push it. So suppose we are pushing some another data. Now let's say rather than this hyper one or this encrypted data we have, we can push XYZ data. Okay, this is again a string. No, if you just don't want to put a string, you can push something like, say, a number 20. Okay, and now rather than accepting this number as a string, I can say it is an integer, and it is an integer again. By default it has a value 0, and then yeah, it is fine. So now if I will just restart this, we will perform the hard restart, and you can see the value is 0 there. And now we have this hyper one, and I can just drag it to push it here, and we have 20. And where our offset widget gone? Okay, so here we have some kind of problem, I guess. So what we can do here, we can say final offset, and rather than doing all this stuff to make it offset, and we can say something like this. Okay, so that we don't face such issues. And here we can assign this offset, wait a second, to widget dot offset. Okay, so this should work, and rather than this, we can use directly this offset. Yeah, okay, so this should work. Now again we have that particular widget. Let's refresh it, perform the hot restart. Now let's just try to drag it here, and you can see 20. Okay, and this is how it works. Okay, now I have shown you that and you can have multiple widgets as well. Okay, so let's say if you want to have another draggable, then you can push another one. So this is how you can use it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you.